So I was able to pick up 7 different titles over the course of March, and I feel like 7 is pretty reasonable, right? Right? Hey, what's going on, everybody? Justin here, and in this video I just want to share the 7 books that I was able to pick up during the month of March, and it's pretty cool. All 7 of these were sent to me by publishers for review purposes and stuff. Now that I'm actually like consistently doing videos and content and stuff, and wanting to bring back reviews and everything like that. That's starting to happen again. 2023, I had to turn down like a zillion ones that were pushed to me just because I wasn't making videos. I didn't quite feel right taking them at the time. But now that we're doing that, we're gonna hopefully have more reviews coming in and that sort of thing. But without further ado, let's just go ahead and get started. Now, the first 3 of these are books I'm trying to read this month. For People April, as they're all kind of biography / memoir / people kind of books, as you'll see in just a moment. And this one is from Chicago Review Press, so thank you so much, and thank you to all the publishers, right now, so I don't forget any of them if I do during the video. Alright, so we got Guerrilla Tactics, How to Save a Species by Greg Cummings, and this is all about the author's transformation from being kind of I don't know what's the word, a delinquent young adult, I guess, kind of vagabond lifestyle, towards becoming the executive director of the Diane Fossey Guerrilla Fund in the 1990s, being kind of like the head person doing the fundraising and raising money and stuff for different research projects and wildlife projects and things like that. So I think it's going to be a really cool story. I've read the first couple chapters already. He sort of describes himself as the wildlife Robin Hood, when he's kind of, just like hanging out with like the celebrities and the rich people and, authors and, producers and things like that, and trying to like, raise funds for the gorillas and stuff in Africa. So I think it's going to be really cool, and it's kind of interesting already, just from what I've read so far, just kind of seeing his sort of transformation from, just kind of drifting through life and going with the flow and everything to kind of becoming like a person with more responsibility and kind of having like a really good purpose that he's like kind of striving for during the course of his life. So I think this will be pretty good, and hopefully the review will be coming soon as well. All right, next up we have American Woman: The Transformation of the Modern First Lady from Hillary Clinton. I almost said Clinton to Jill Biden by Katie Rogers. I'm not gonna lie, I don't read a lot of American history. I read literally almost none. I'm trying to think over my 5 years on BookTube, and I'm just trying to think like all the books I've read in the past like 10 years. I can think of like maybe 4 American history books, and I'm trying to push myself this year with my history reading. If you've been watching my channel with March of the Mammoths and stuff, I read stuff on like the Soviet and 20th century and the 19th century in Europe and stuff, which are totally like out of my wheelhouse. And this one is too. So I kind of wanted to learn. I don't know anything about pretty much any first lady, and I kind of feel like I probably should know the ones that were at least like during my lifetime and whatnot. And it sounded pretty interesting, and it had good reviews and good blurbs and stuff. So like I said, I don't really have a whole lot to say about it, but like I said, I'm trying to push my boundaries a little bit with learning about things that I haven't before, and I think this will fit the bill good. Plus it's a good fit for People April, so I was like, win-win-win, let's try it out. And lastly, the book here, I don't know, I guess lastly for People April is what I was thinking, is the book I'm reading currently, and I'm not gonna lie, it's a sad book, but it's an important book. We got The Unclaimed Abandonment and Hope in the City of Angels. This is by Pamela Prickett and Stefan Timmermans. And all of these ones are from Crown Publishing or different imprints under Crown. So thank you to them as well. Okay, so this book is all about when someone dies. Like, it's kind of focusing on LA County, but I think a lot of the general premises kind of apply to the United States as a whole. It's sort of what happens, when someone dies and they, there's no friends, family, relatives, anything like that, that either go to claim the body or are unwilling to claim the dead body. It's sort of all the bureaucracy that happens behind the scenes, what's kind of going on there, all the different people involved in the whole like process leading up to, through the investigation with the, the coroner's offices and things, veteran affairs, if they were a veteran, all kinds of just different things that I have a background in social work and stuff, so that was partially the reason why I accepted this one. And yeah, it's a very heavy book. The authors so far are doing a really good job. I guess I don't, how do I say, being to the point, but still being respectful to kind of everyone involved and what's kind of going on. Just kind of like laying out the facts, but also trying to bring the human factor into like pretty much every step of the process. But yeah, so this book is kind of broken down into two separate threads. I don't know how to explain it per se. There's detailed accounts of 4 different people that died in the relatively recent past, in the last few years or so, in LA County. And you're kind of, there's like a tapestry of all their lives and stuff, kind of leading up, how did they get to the point where they die, where no one is claiming the body, or, you know, once the relatives are found, like kind of the different kind of tangled web of what's going on, why they're not able to claim them, whether it's due to like financial reasons, you know, distance, this, that, and the other thing. But yeah, and then the other half is kind of like all the different agencies and workers and stuff that are kind of along the process, kind of working through the system. Because sometimes it can be several years before a body is finally either cremated or buried or whatever, depending on the different situations and stuff. So I'm learning a ton. It's a very heavy topic, yeah, but the authors are doing a very good job, like I said, treating it, I don't want to say, they're not treating it as a distance, that's not the right word to say. They're treating it from like just like a wide perspective, and there's not a lot of judgment kind of going on, but you do kind of get the feeling of how we're kind of failing almost as a society, that this book has to be written because it's such an actual problem going on, and it's a bigger thing than I even like I knew this was like a thing, but the actual numbers involved is pretty staggering. But like I said, and the authors are doing a good job. Like, I can't tell like if they wrote like individual chapters or how they wrote it and stuff, because sometimes when you have more than one author, you can kind of tell which author is writing at certain points, and I'm not getting that at all. So really, I don't want to I'm enjoying the book because I'm learning a lot, but I'm also sad, and I figured I would be sad like kind of reading about it just because of the topic involved, but I do feel like it is an important topic for us to be learning about. Alright, so moving on, we got kind of, I'm hoping, kind of a more lighthearted, funny, sort of humorous kind of read. We got Says Who, a kinder, funner usage guide for everyone who cares about words, by Ann Curzon. And from what I read, she is a professor of like English and grammar and that sort of thing. And this book is kind of, I want to say, I've read books on like etymology and stuff before, and I've read a couple on different like turns of phrase, like I think like Eloquence by Mark Forsyth comes to mind, and they've all been actually really fun, even though for me like it's kind of like a dry topic, I always would think. But I feel like this book is it has really great blurbs and stuff, and it's gonna be all about you know, different ways the English language is just kind of weird and crazy, and why we use certain phrases like different ways and different types of grammar and stuff, and kind of like the different histories of like usage and why things have changed over time, and everything like that. So like I said, if you like words, if you like vocabulary and that kind of stuff, if you like reading, you'll probably pick up on a lot of stuff like that. So I figured that'd be kind of just like a fun, lighthearted read after that one, the previous one. Here's one that I have read, and I will have a review coming right up, hopefully pretty soon here. We got Means of Control, How the Hidden Alliance of Tech and Government is Creating a New American Surveillance State, by Byron Tao. And so this is all about, you know, I guess like the thing I've already been talking to like family and friends about is, you know, how, you know, when you search for something or talking about something and you get ads for it on your phone or on your computer or whatever, and how it's spying on you, and we all kind of know that it's kind of true, right? So yeah, pretty much all the myths and a lot of the myths and rumors and stuff that you hear about, and kind of the folklore about that kind of stuff, we'll just say like 90% of that is actually probably true, but there's also this whole giant deep end of the pool that you don't even know about, as far as like how you're being tracked and what they can know about you and learn about you and understand about you, and how much is getting bought and sold every like second on different, you know, just different analytics on like people's like device usage and what they're looking for and this and that and the other thing. And it's, yeah, it's kind of, this one's like, I feel like I need to be wearing like a tinfoil hat for this one, but yeah, I learned a ton. There's a ton I kind of almost wish I didn't like learn about, but yeah, like I said, a full review will be coming soon for sure. Next up, we have A Revolutionary Spring, Europe Aflame in the Fight for a New World, by 1848 to 1849, by Christopher Clark. Now, he wrote a World War I book that I need to get to that I used to do a lot more World War I reading, and it's The Sleepwalkers, and for whatever reason, I haven't got to that. I finished The Pursuit of Power relatively recently here for March of the Mammoth. So this is all about the long 19th century. I figured this would be a great kind of book to kind of, I guess, capitalize on like different sections right there. In 1848 is sort of the Congress of Vienna after the Second French Empire there with Napoleon III kind of falls and everything. So yeah, I feel like when I read Pursuit of Power, I realized there's so much I don't really know about like European history and stuff. Like I said, I focus more on like ancient, classical, medieval. I figured this would be a good deep dive. This is kind of like the era where, you know, Italy is starting to try to form as a nation state under Garibaldi and Cavour. Germany is starting to kind of, have like, it's within the generation of it becoming like, under its own like nationhood and everything like that. So there is a lot going on in Europe during these couple of years, and I feel like, this one's also pretty chunky on just 2 years. So I think it's going to be kind of a deep dive on that. I did want to read a book on Metternich after reading Pursuit of Power, who was just like the European diplomat statesman like par excellence in like the early to mid 1800s, and I feel like this book is gonna have a lot on him. So yeah, I feel like this one will fit the bill for taking one of the box. I wrote a list of like 8 different things I wanted to read more about after reading Pursuit of Power. I think this one will be one of them. And lastly, one of my favorites, because it's going to be really cool. I haven't obviously read it yet, but we got the gardening book by Monty Don. Gardening and outdoor stuff and field guides is stuff I want to bring to the channels, hopefully starting this year, try to figure something out for that. I figure this will be like a good way to start. I love Monty Don's stuff. If you ever watch, Gardener's World on TV, he's got a whole bunch of different programs and stuff. One of his other ones is Around the World in 80 Gardens, which I highly recommend as well. Just super awesome. If you do outdoor stuff, if you like gardening, I'm gonna try to do like gardening, I don't know, gardening something kind of videos. I'm not really sure, even if I just do videos out in the gardens and stuff. Like I said, I feel like this will be a good fit for that, and gardening books should get some love too. I don't think I've only seen, I think, one other gardening book the whole time I've been on BookTube, but like I said, Monty Don is great. I might listen to his kind of memoir biography book, Down to Earth, that came out within the past couple of years or something, for People April as well, if I have time for it. But there you have it. Those are the 7 books that I picked up during the month of March. Once again, thank you to the presses for sending me those. I should begin hopefully some of the reviews out in the next couple of weeks. Let me know down below which one you think I should read after I finish Unclaimed. I got American Woman, and I already forgot the other one. Oh yeah, Guerrilla Tactics. So let me know if you picked up any good books in March. I'm always on the lookout for good recommendations as well. So thank you so much for watching, and always remember, whatever you end up reading, read victoriously.